Hi there, I'm Kim Howard, Editor-in-Chief of the ACC Docket, and with me today I have our CEO and President, Veta Richardson. Today we'd like to talk with you about the ACC Census. The 2011 ACC Census provides unique insight to the in-house counsel community. It is the largest study of this community with more than 5,800 responses. The ACC conducts a census every 5 years. The ACC Docket featured a few highlights in the April's chair message. Veta, can you share with our viewers how the census is important and what value it brings to in-house counsel? Were there any findings that stood out to you?
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, Kim, the census is important. It's really one of our most anticipated services for our members. Our members like to take the temperature of the in-house community and understand what are some of the pressures and challenges and what's going on with their peers. So each time we issue the census, we notice a spike in terms of interest, and we also see the law firm community also taking great interest because we talk about things like outside counsel retention that's near and dear to their hearts as well.
Of course. How have trends evolved regarding the primary discipline and specialties of in-house counsel?
Well, what we've seen overall is that there have been some new areas of law that in-house counsel have grown. For example, the area of privacy. If we looked back on the prior census, not a lot of in-house counsel were reporting that privacy was their primary discipline. This year we saw that 11% reported privacy as their primary discipline. We also noticed an increase in terms of the number of in-house counsel who reported that they were focused on government relations, government regulations and lobbying. In the area of government regulations, for example, in the prior census, only 2% told us that was their primary discipline, and this time we saw that that number had grown to 18%. Similarly with lobbying and thinking about legislative issues and their impact on the corporate community, prior census we didn't see any report of that as primary discipline. That seemed to be primarily outsourced, and this year we saw that percentage grow to about 5%.
Interesting. Let's talk about outside counsel use. We've seen growing interest at a point that the census revealed, which is a power shift from law firms to corporate legal departments. What factors do you believe have contributed to this shift?
I think the shift has been that with the challenges, especially in the U.S. economy, economic challenges, regulatory challenges, there's an increased emphasis in corporate counsel focusing on value and the delivery of value in support of their corporate objectives. And they've become, I guess, having higher expectations of outside counsel in terms of the way that they contribute. They're not looking for outside counsel to just bill them by the hour for legal advice, but they're looking for them to be more partners in the delivery of legal services. So that's been a shift in terms of the increased emphasis on delivery of value. But in terms of outside counsel usage, we tend to see that litigation, labor and employment, as well as intellectual property tend to be the primary areas that in-house counsel turn to outside counsel for assistance. But we also noticed another trend, which is that outside counsel usage overall was down slightly in the areas of litigation, tax, and M&A, and actually in-house counsel started to take more of that type of work in-house. So very interesting trend there.
It is, and both of those points on those questions that you answered are also indicative of the trends that we've seen within the docket and how the coverage has changed over the last 6 years since I've been here. And so that's really good that the census is telling us what we sort of already saw in trends in a formal way. What are the most prevalent practice areas for which in-house lawyers primary consult outside counsel?
Well, that would be the areas of litigation, labor and employment, and intellectual property. Those continue to be bread and butter areas where in-house counsel turn outside.
Excellent. Compensation is on the minds of everyone who works. What did the compensation picture look like for in-house counsel in 2011?
Well, I'm sure that compensation is an issue that will be of great interest to our viewers. As far as our census, the respondents told us that about 47% place their salary in the range of $125,000 to $200,000 annually, but about 22% reported that they make in excess of $300,000. But the interesting side was some of the non-pay motivators that are at work in corporate law departments. We saw that the majority of in-house law departments offer some sort of flexible work arrangements. In fact, and in-house counsel are utilizing it. In fact, 61% reported that they adjust their hours and have flex time, and 57% report that they telecommute on a regular basis. So although the benefits are available, we're also seeing good utilization rates by in-house counsel.
And that's great because that's good retention for the companies as well.
I think so.
That's good. One last question. What conclusions do you think can be drawn from the ACC census findings? What's next for in-house counsel?
Okay, well, I have to say with the census, we see that in-house counsel are looking at how to deliver value to their corporations. In some cases, they've determined that value means bringing some work in-house. It also means looking at the way that they utilize outside counsel. We also saw that the increased regulatory environment, increased pressures and challenges on corporations as a result of economic challenges mean that they're thinking very expansively in terms of their role and their ability to contribute. I'd say what's next is that one of the other surveys that we did, Chief Legal Officer survey, said that despite all the challenges of the environment, economic, regulatory, competitive, being global, in-house counsel still report very high satisfaction rates, and I just think that indicates that they're committed to doing the best job for their corporation, delivering results.
That's excellent news. Thank you, Veta, for your time today.
You're welcome, Kim.
If you want more information about the ACC Census, please visit acc.com/census. And don't forget to follow ACC on Twitter @ACC Inhouse. You can also follow me @KimHowardDC or Veta @Veta Richardson. Thank you.
Thank you.